Welcome back to Happy Hour, our podcast for young adults here at the Cathedral of the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus. Once again, I am Rick.
And I'm Holly.
And we are thrilled to have you here with us today. And man, am I excited about this topic, Holly.
I'm excited about it too.
I have a feeling this is one of those I could talk forever on.
Definitely.
I mean,
it has a lot of facets.
Yeah, that's it. You know, I don't usually have a problem talking forever anyway. But this particular topic, I think, could go on for a while. We're going to try to keep it at that 22 to 25 minute range. But this is one that I could see us spending some time on.
Definitely.
Because it's important. It's a very important topic. Mm-hmm. They're probably wondering at this point, what topic is it? But they're probably not wondering. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they probably read the title and the description of this podcast. So spoiler alert, not really, but it's perseverance.
Yes.
We need to talk about
perseverance.
Yeah. You know, it seems like an attractive word that people like.
Yes.
Right. I don't know of too many people that I could walk up to and say, hey, you have bad feelings on perseverance, don't you? Yeah. You know, I just don't know.
I haven't met anyone ever that has said that.
Right. I just don't ever remember running across anybody that's like, oh, perseverance, that's not for me. No. But even though we all feel that, maybe we don't all follow through on that.
Yes.
And why is it so hard, right, to stay committed, to have perseverance? And what do we need perseverance in? Are there things that we should maybe not have perseverance in? Are there things we should always have perseverance in? These are all things we're going to talk about today.
Yep, I'm ready.
Me too.
Let's do it.
Me too. I'm going to let you start today. I'm going to just throw your thoughts out there today, Holly. I've got, of course, again, lots of thoughts. And I want to give you a chance to kind of share your thoughts on this. So you start us, you pick us, you take us where we're going.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to start with anyone who's listening that God won't put you in situations that you can't handle. So I feel like that's a very common topic around perseverance. But here's the deal. It's so much easier to rely on God and to offer your struggles and challenges to Him during your time of tribulation. And doing that will, I guess, help you not to rely on your own willpower with things. Yeah. And that's also a key component, I would say, in perseverance.
I love that you started it off that way, because this is both the beginning and the end of it. That you will never have anything that you can't handle. It's that simple. One of my favorite quotes of all time, Saint Teresa of Calcutta. She said, God will never give me anything I can't handle. I just wish He didn't trust me so much. And there's something beautiful about that, right? Because we all have those moments where we feel like it's too much. It is, whatever this is, it's too much, right?
To keep going would be too difficult for you, to handle, and you just want to give up. Yeah.
And I guess, to be quite honest, I think there's a lot of truth in a lot of situations that we have in our lives where we can't do it. We can't persevere through it. We can't handle it. We can't do it alone. And there's the key. Yeah. Right? That's the key. And that's why I'm so thrilled that you brought that up, is that we don't walk through any of this alone. Knowing that whatever comes in our way, day in, day out, night or day, it's never anything that you can't, with the Lord, overcome, persevere through, or handle. Right?
Right.
Yeah. I love that. That's great. So we started off big. Wow. That's a big one. I'm sure you can think of some areas of life where we should be more committed and where we should persevere more, that maybe as North Americans, or even just as humans, we don't persevere in. Are there any areas you can think of? Because I wrote down 3 that I wanted to find statistics on, because I thought, well, I don't want to just generalize it and say, oh, this has got to be a prop for sure. I wanted to have hard facts on these. Any area you can think of, it might match one of the ones that I've got.
Let's see. I would say relationships and friendships.
Excellent.
I don't know if that was one, but that's the first one that pops into my head.
Well, probably because we're built for relationships, right?
Absolutely.
That's the way we're created. So I chose the divorce rate among married people.
Okay. That goes along with the relationship.
Yes. So the ultimate show of wanting to stay with somebody forever would be to get married to them, right? Or at least that was the idea. Mm-hmm. Now, having said that, we see the age of marriage going higher and higher now. People are not getting married as young as they used to, right? A lot more people want to delve into their careers. And I am speaking North American. Right. I want to point that out. So as North Americans, the average age of somebody getting married for the first time is increasing, if at all. Okay. Interesting. Which is interesting. Now that has, believe it or not, that has actually helped the divorce rate.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. So, but the divorce rate still is not very good.
Right.
This statistic is last year's statistic. I could not find this year's statistic. So I will share last year's was about 50% of all marriages end in divorce.
That's so sad.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. You could just pull up like 30 kids and 15 of them might have their, home life a little bit more broken, I would say, than the rest.
Yeah. And now that statistic says all marriages. So that's not just first marriages. So I want you to think about that for a second. Maybe there's a pattern of behavior sometimes too. Now, again, with the caveat of if you are in a very unhealthy marriage, something that is going to physically harm you, we're not talking about that. What we are talking about is a committed relationship, because once you're married in the eyes of the church, you're married. If you got married in the church, I got news for you. It's final. It's final. It is what it is. There are, of course, extreme circumstances where you can get an annulment. And maybe we should we'll have somebody with much more authority come and talk to us on annulments. Maybe even our own Deacon Walt Odie, who actually deals with a lot of that stuff for our parish and our diocese. So maybe we can get into that someday. But for the most part, marriage is a commitment. And it's a commitment through thick and thin. In fact, in our vows, we say it. Yet 50% of all marriages in North America end in divorce. Okay, so that just... Number one, that is not a very high level of commitment. No, right?
Not at all.
All right. So we talk about relationships a little bit. And of course, you're in college, so you probably see that relationships don't last very long.
Typically, no.
Typically not, right?
Yes. They're very short.
Yeah.
Yes.
That still holds true.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because really dating is preparation for marriage.
Yes.
Right? It's to get to know the person, to say, are we going to be together for life?
Are we compatible?
Yeah.
Is this going to work out?
Yeah. Again, maybe, hopefully that doesn't include other activities to say we're compatible, quote unquote compatible. This should be a character thing. This should be
personality.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to stay together for life, looks fade and you're left with the person. So yeah.
Gotta think about that one.
Big time. Yes. So relationships, yes, that's a big one. I chose a couple others as well.
Okay.
Let me just share them with you. You ready?
I'm ready.
What do you think? And this one I wanted to specifically gear towards young adults.
Okay.
So from ages 25 to 34, they have a statistic out there as to how long the average 25 to 34-year-old holds a job.
Ooh. Like the one job.
One job. What is the average lifespan of a job?
Okay.
A job for a 25 to 34-year-old. Now, that could mean they have a job and then they have another job and then they have another job. Those will all be separate. Right? Okay. So the average lifespan of a job for a 25 to 34-year-old. What if you had to guess? And she hasn't seen this, everybody. She's just totally guessing.
The average job span?
Like lifespan of a job.
Lifespan of a job. I would say a year, because most people, I don't know if this is true, but most people stay for like a school year, maybe. So I would say like a school year. So maybe like 9 months.
Sure.
We'll change it to not. That's my final answer.
That's your final answer. Final answer. And I love that, because you're viewing that through the eyes of a student,
more, but yes.
Right? Which is I would too. Now we're bumping it up, so we're going those that are just out of college, really kind of college to
25
mid 30s. Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit longer than that.
Okay.
The average lifespan of a job is 2.8 years.
Okay.
2.8 years.
That's
not long.
Comparatively, no.
It's not long. They used to be, when you start your career, that was it. You work the one job. You put your 30, 40 years in, you retire, and that's it. 2.8 years. That has drastically changed. One more. This is a good one. Okay. You ready for this one?
Oh, I hope I can guess this one.
Oh, this is good. New Year's resolutions.
Ooh. Follow through.
Yes. On that. Follow through on that commitment level, perseverance through that. All right. I got 2 statistics on this one.
Okay.
One statistic is how many people have stayed with their New Year's resolution after the first month, so 30 days.
Okay.
And then the other one is who completed their New Year's resolution.
Ooh,
okay. So these are good. These are very good. So now this is polling everybody that made a New Year's resolution. This is not polling everybody in the world because some people might not have. This is polling if you made a New Year's resolution, what is the percentage that you stayed with it after 30 days? What do you think that percentage would be?
Ooh, I feel like people drop pretty quick. I would say 2 months average. Oh wait, you're saying in the.
So yeah, percentage. That's okay. Percentage of that out of that 100% of people that made a commitment. In the 1 month. What percentage is left after 30 days?
40.
Oh, that's a pretty good number.
Okay.
Wow, you are way more optimistic than I am. That's great. The number is actually 25%.
Okay.
So we lost 75% of everybody within 30 days.
Ooh. Gym memberships go up. I know that in January, and then they just tank afterwards. But
absolutely tank. Yeah. Also, weight loss programs like Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig or whatever else is out there. Huge spike, and you'll start to see in December all these promotions being run and everything. They're smart. They know what they're doing. Mm-hmm. All right. What last percentage? What percentage of people complete their New Year's resolution? What percentage do you think that is? We already know now that 25% make it for 30 days.
For 30
at least 30
only.
days. Yeah.
I think it's pretty low. I want to say, I'll guess 5%.
Okay. All right. You're a little less optimistic this time.
Optimistic for the whole year. Yes.
That's a long time, whole year. You're close. It's 8%.
Okay.
So 8% of people complete their New Year's resolution. So as a real quick review, 50% of all marriages end in divorce. Mm-hmm. The average lifespan of a job, 2.8 years.
Okay.
New Year's resolution, 8% of people keep it.
That's pretty insane. Crazy.
Commitment, perseverance. It's tough. It's hard. And of course, it depends on what we're committing to, what we're persevering through, right? But I think for the most important things in life, we need to be able to train ourselves, right? To have more perseverance, because this isn't the opportunity to just say, oh, look how terrible we are. Okay. It's not great. But there is a flip side to that coin is that we have an opportunity to be better, right? Everybody, every day you have a new opportunity to start fresh and to start over. That's what I love about the way that we're created and this world is created. It's like a cycle goes through, a 24-hour cycle goes through, and it's brand new again, right? So if you failed yesterday and you woke up today, you got a shot.
You have a fresh start to begin.
Fresh start.
Wherever you are.
Yeah, yeah. So how can we have perseverance? What are some things that we could do to have deeper levels of commitment?
Well, I would say I'm practicing patience. I feel like patience and perseverance go hand in hand. And there's a lot of virtues that are fruits, I would say, of perseverance. But I think patience is one of the main ones. So practicing patience as in with lengths of time, like you were saying earlier, with years, with minutes, I would say potentially what I do is I try to I have little challenges throughout the year. So one of them is the Bible in a Year podcast by Father Mike Schmitz. And
are you all caught up?
I am.
Good for you. Me too.
Okay, yeah.
Air 5.
Okay, we just did one. Clap. But I was really, the other day I was really thinking, I was like, am I going to finish this throughout the rest of the semester with everything I have going on? And then I sort of had a lot of doubts with that. Can I persevere to the end of the year and be that 8%?
Yes.
Let's all be that 8%,
yes.
or let's try to raise that number, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's something that I wanted to do this year to really challenge myself. Or doing something with like a low time limit or amount every day, like a very small, and all the small things will add up to a greater impact.
Yeah.
So choosing something in your life, maybe whatever it may be, but with just starting small and then building, I would say.
I like that. It's the antithesis or the anti of taking our time with things. Yeah. We procrastinate really, really well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I notice it in myself, of course, too. There are just certain things that I'm not super excited to do. But here's the thing with procrastination. When there are things that I don't want to do, I forget that at the end of it, I'm super happy that it's done. Right. And a good example of this would be like confession, going to confession, right? Like there's not many people that are just like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to get to confession. There's not a lot of those people. There are some, but after, it's like, why? What am I doing? This is great. Why didn't I? So there are other things in our lives that we have to do, whether it's an email that you have to reply to, whether it's somebody that you need to follow up with, right? Or whatever it is. Maybe if we stop procrastinating so much, even in the little areas like you're talking about, it makes a difference in the big areas too, because we're training ourselves, right? If we say, one of the big things for me was, people would always come and say, hey, can you pray for me? I'm going through this. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll pray for you. And then if I remembered later on, I would pray for them. Right. And I kept thinking when I would forget, there were those moments I was like, oh, I know I'm supposed to be praying for somebody and I cannot think of who it was or what it was for. I'm terrible. So I decided to take matters in my own hands. And I said, all right, if somebody asks me to pray for them, I'll tell them absolutely I will. And by the way, we're going to do it right now. I'm not putting this off and I'm just very upfront and honest with people. I'll forget. I promise you. But what I can promise you is right now too. I can pray with you right now. So maybe there's ways that we can look at things that we don't look forward to, and maybe we shift a little bit. We attack it instead of be passive at them, right? So those little chores that we got to do.
I've coined a term, or maybe I don't know if I really have or not. I haven't looked it up on Google yet, but I use this term, and it's called precrastination instead of procrastination.
Oh, tell me more.
Yes. I tell my friends this too. I'm like, I like to get so much far ahead on my assignments that I call it procrastination, because I've done it so far in advance. And then once time rolls around, I'm like way ahead of the game. I'm less anxious, less stressed. So that's something that sort of reminded me of what you were saying, like doing it right now. Like I'm just going to do it right now when it was assigned.
Yeah.
Not now, not later, not even later, which would be procrastination, but do it right now.
I love it. I do that with like my schedules and stuff. So if it's like, I try to put out a schedule that's 6 months in advance or something, so that it's just planned, because you don't know what's going to come up or what's going to happen. You could get sick, you get whatever, other things could come in. And if you are procrastinated, then you're ready for that moment, right? And it trains you for the rest of everything else you're doing.
Yes.
I love that. Procrastination. Yes. I haven't looked it up either.
I don't know if it's real. It might be. Might not be.
I'm just saying it's real now. If it wasn't before, it's real now.
All right.
I love that. And so maybe that's a start for people who have a hard time enduring or, following through on some things. Attack. Don't wait. Attack it. Go for it. Just go and get it. I love that a lot. Also, having people hold you accountable is really good too.
Absolutely.
I never like somebody to have to tell me something twice. Right? It's awful.
Yeah, I don't like that feeling.
Me either.
Like, okay, I'll get it. I'll do it.
Yeah, because I don't like letting people down. I don't think a lot of people do. And if you have told me something and I didn't do it in a timely manner and you ask me again, I'm like, oh, that is my bad. That is my fault. And I like it when I don't have to encounter that. Right.
Right.
But that's part of accountability, is holding people accountable. And we all need it. And we all make mistakes and we all need it. So it's a good thing to have somebody that holds you accountable. So there's maybe another thing that you can introduce into your life to help you with perseverance, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Having friends around you, strong friendships definitely help. And I think we did a podcast about, that. So make sure you check it out.
Faith-Filled Friendships, or something like that was the title. Yeah. Search that out if you haven't heard it. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I think too, of course, ultimately, we'll bring it back to the beginning, is that the Lord is there and he's not going to give you anything you can't handle, but you can't do it alone.
No.
There's so little we can actually do alone, right? And so we need him. We can think of people throughout Scripture that this has happened to, right? The Israelites, good example. You know, they had to persevere.
Oh, yes.
I mean, think about it. They were in Egypt as slaves. They had to go in the desert for 40 years. And now, of course, we remember some stories. Maybe they weren't all that great all the time. They like to complain a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's because, yeah. And hey, listen, I
would complain too.
I'd be with them. I'm definitely with them. All right. Love that you're supplying bread, but every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Just bread.
Just bread, just some manna. I get that. Some other people, Job, you want to talk about somebody who could persevere? Wow. Like, he's the poster child.
Absolute role model, I would say, for perseverance and faith in the midst of insurmountable trial.
Yeah. I would think that Job, if he had friendships last beyond all those trials, because he had some friends that gave him some terrible advice, right?
You have a few, right?
But yeah, 3 I can think of for sure. But if he had friends that were beyond that, I can only think that like nobody would ever want to go complain to Job.
Oh.
Can you believe that I'm going, oh, never mind, you're Job. What am I complaining about?
He lost about everything, so I can't. Nope. I have no right to complain.
He lost family. He lost money. He lost all his possessions. He lost health. He lost all. He didn't lose his wife, though. She stuck around.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Maybe there's like a covenant there, that covenant or something, like couldn't leave. I don't know.
Either that or maybe she wasn't great and the devil knew that he wanted to keep her there.
That would not be.
I don't know. I'm sure that's not it. I apologize to his wife. I'm sorry, Job's wife, and I don't even know your name. I'm so sorry. You're probably a very holy woman. But Job, what an ideal person to look at for perseverance. But ultimately, of course, the ultimate person we look at is Christ and what he persevered through. And I always come back to this. I always come back to, no matter what it is, no matter what pain I'm going through, Jesus on the cross, Jesus being crucified is, to me, the model. Because in that moment, as they're putting nails through his hands, as they have beat him, have mocked him, have taken everything, have stripped him of everything, what is his prayer? It's not a selfish prayer, and it's not a prayer for his followers. It is a prayer for his enemies, and the prayer is, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. If that is not perseverance to its maximum, I don't know what is. Because I tend to find that when I'm not persevering, it's because maybe somebody has wronged me in a way, right? And that I'm just out. No, I don't have to deal with this. I don't have to listen to this or whatever it is. But Jesus as the ultimate role model of perseverance, he knew what he was to accomplish, and nothing was going to stop that along the way, because what he was going to accomplish was saving the world, saving every human soul, and that meant the ones that were going to harm him. So nothing was going to come in the way. You could tell him how much you hate him, don't believe in him, spit in his face. It was not going to stop him from telling you that he loves you and that he wants a relationship with you. That is perseverance, right?
Absolutely. The ultimate, yes, like you said, the ultimate model of perseverance is Jesus Christ. And you just think about it. And I don't know how, but obviously only through God, right? Mm-hmm. And like going through that amount of pain. And maybe if you really need to, you can read through one of the Gospels, because, and specifically the later chapters about Jesus's crucifixion. Yep. And, I might do that today because it's been a minute, and it's a great reminder of just how much we're blessed. It just reminds you, and then also gives you a phenomenal example of how to persevere. Yeah.
Yeah. Amen to that. I think we could all use a little more of Jesus' last 18 hours of his life in our life. I love crosses, but I am absolutely in love with crucifixes because it reminds me of the greatest love of all, like the knowing I'm never going to do this alone. And again, to bookend it, you are not alone. If you're listening to this, you are not alone. And the Lord is there with you throughout everything you're going through. There's nothing that you cannot do that is in your life. I promise you that. But you're going to need to go to the Lord with it. And you're going to need to talk to him frequently. And you're going to need to listen to him frequently. Amen to that. All right. Well, that's all the time we have, Holly. But I like the way we bookended that one. That was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for listening. If you liked it, please subscribe to it, send it out, shoot it out to everybody you know who needs to listen to this on perseverance. We all need that in our lives. And we look forward to being with you next time on Happy Hour.